Another story that we've been paying close attention to here is the crazy housing market. And we focused a lot on, well, we focused on the rental side too with regard to eviction and risk in particular. But on housing prices, we've been focusing a lot on single family homes, the way that the prices there are being bid up by permanent capital. Well, this is also fueling a massive increase in rent prices. Great piece from Heather Long, fantastic reporter over at the Washington Post, who is talking about now we're seeing rent prices soar astronomically. So not only can you not afford to buy a home, but now you're going to be priced down of the rental market too. They profile these two women, Lauren Campos. She opened the door to her Phoenix apartment last week to find a note stuck in the doorframe. Her rent was going up $400 a month. That was a 33% increase. She and her fiance read the letter in shock. The property management company gave them 4 days to decide whether to commit to stay or leave by the end of July. They spent the rest of the day poring over apartment listings online, only to realize they would either have to move or downsize from their 2-bedroom place to a 1-bedroom. Nationwide, here's the stats. Rent prices are up 7.5% just this year. That's 3 times higher than normal. And analysts expect this trend to continue with rents climbing for the foreseeable future. In particular, demand for single-family homes and apartments in smaller cities that have less inventory have been leading this rent increase. Rents for single-family homes are growing at the fastest pace in 15 years. And this is interesting, too. You can see, put that tweet back up on the screen from Heather Long. What's fascinating is it's not actually the big cities that are leading the growth in rental prices. In fact, some of the largest cities, San Francisco and New York, still seeing lower rents than pre-pandemic, although that appears to be rapidly shifting. But it's places like Stockton, Boise City, Ventura, Phoenix, Fresno, Sacramento. Those are the places, these smaller cities, that people are moving to, you know, with the PMC, reevaluating their lives, wanting to have more space, maybe being able to continue to work from home. They're moving there. The housing market is already crazy, and now the rental market is going nuts as well. And when you think about people's quality of life and what they're able to afford to do in their lives, you know, these two women are not unique in feeling like they're actually moving backwards rather than what you always want to see in your life is like continual progress and we're moving forward and we're, you know, feeling more comfortable and able to get more space. Instead, people are having more and more of their income going to housing, which really curtails what they're able to do in the rest of their life and for a lot of people puts them over the financial edge.
Yeah, and actually what's really troubling is that as we've talked about how the housing market is crazy, the rental market can actually be crazier. And look, if this was just a story of, you know, people in DC, San Francisco, and New York, that would be bad still as one of those residents. And by the way, let me tell you, this is true. Having recently been kicked out of my house and having to rent a new place, it was astronomically more expensive than I expected. So you go and you take a look at what's going on. The rental market can actually outpace the housing market. This is actually really troubling because it's not just megacities, but it's in a lot of other places. And a lot of it is about coastal displacement. And so, you know, they had a quote here from a guy named Michael Cobald. I thought this really crystallized just how terrible this is. He has been renting in Boise since he lost his home in the financial crisis of 2008. A year ago, he was paying $750 to rent a house with a big garage for his art studio. The rent has jumped to $1,450 just this month. He says he has no choice but to pay it. He brought in another roommate to have to split costs. Even with 3 of them now, money is tighter than it was before. Quote, if you leave, you're going to end up on the street. He's 69 years old. He says the problem is all these people from California are moving here. They are paying for a house sight unseen. I'm not blaming the people from California, but something is really going on here. And if you look at that chart, it's not, you know, major metropolitan areas. Stockton, Boise, Ventura, California, Phoenix, Fresno, Sacramento. I bet that you could go and take a look at this in places like Atlanta, places like Austin, places, you know, all across the Sun Belt where a lot of people are beginning to move. And you're going to continue to see, I think, this trend rise, especially also if you have people who are permanent capital types who are buying up more of these buildings. They can continue to jack up the prices. Remember, every aggregate increase in price is billions of dollars more on their bottom line. And so that's, you know, you can see this. Inside the story, they actually talk about how private equity firm Blackstone just purchased a firm called Home Partners of America. It manages 17,000 100,000 rental homes for $6 billion.
Wow.
And JP Morgan for rent announced a deal last year to actually build more rental homes, and they're all targeting exactly where we see this increase, the West and the Southeast. That's where the biggest population boom is happening in the US. So if you can, you know, if you're renting out there, like I feel for you, man.
Yeah.
I understand what's going on. And if you continue to see the, you know, the increase in price and more, it's gonna be a big problem as we move forward.
And these big corporations, private equity, they're ruthless. They don't care if you're out on the street. You know, they're gonna push up the rent as high as they can possibly get away with. They're gonna squeeze every single dollar out of you. You also have an issue where, you know, it takes a while, of course, in normal times to build new housing stock, to build new apartment buildings, but especially right now, there's this backlog and there's all these supply chain issues, so that's further making it difficult to build new housing stock, both for the rental market and also for the housing market. So ramifications here for a lot of people's lives who are struggling and wondering where they are going to be able to lay their heads at night.
That's right. The rent is too damn high. I've been waiting a long time to say that
Bottom
on camera.
line there. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.